I am called Ndeloh Esther, and you are listening to Cameroon Link Radio. We are going to talk about Sustainable Development Goals. And under these Sustainable Development Goals, we have 17 steps to follow, which the first step goes thus. 1. Ends poverty in all its forms everywhere. The second Sustainable Development Goals: end hunger, achieve food security, and improve nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. Number 3. Ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages. Number 4. Ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. Number 5. Achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. Number 6. Ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. Number 7. Ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all. Number 8. Promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all. Number 9. Build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, and foster innovation. Number 10. Reduce inequality within and among countries. Number 11. Make cities and human settlement inclusive and safe, resilient, and sustainable. Number 12. It ensures sustainable consumption and production patterns. Number 13. It takes urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts. Number 14. Conserve and sustainably use the oceans, seas, and marine resources for sustainable development. Number 15. Protect, restore, promote sustainable use of territorial ecosystem, sustainable management of forests, combat desertification and halt and reverse land degradation, and halt loss. Number 16. It promotes peaceful and inclusive societies for all, sustainable development, provide access to justice for all, and build effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels. Number 17, which is the last, is strengthen the means of implementation and revitalize the global partnership for all sustainable development. And in all this, after looking at the Sustainable Development Goals, it is followed by a key to sustainable development, and these keys are the ones which guide the Sustainable Development Goals, and among which there are 17 of them. So the first one, on breastfeeding, a key to sustainable development, it goes thus: breastfeeding is a natural and low-cost way of feeding babies and children. It is affordable for everyone, and it does not burden household budget compared to artificial feeding. Breastfeeding contributes to poverty reduction. The second point on a key to sustainable development is exclusive breastfeeding and continued breastfeeding for 2 years and beyond. It provides a high quality nutrients and adequate energy, and can help prevent hunger, undernutrition, and obesity. Breastfeeding also means food security for infants. The third step, breastfeeding significantly improves the health, development, and survival of infants and children. It also contributes to improve health and well-being of mothers, both in short and in the long run. Number 4, which is the fourth step, breastfeeding and adequate complementary feeding are fundamentals for readiness to learn. Breastfeeding and good quality complementary food significantly contribute to mental and cognitive development, thus promote learning. Step 5. Breastfeeding is the greater equalizer, giving every child a fair and best start in life. Breastfeeding is uniquely a right of women, and they should be supported by the society to breastfeed ultimately. The breastfeeding experience can be satisfying and empowering for the mother, as she is in control of how she feeds her baby. Step 6. Breastfeeding on demand provides all the water a baby needs, even in hot or in cold weather. On the other hand, formula feeding requires access to clean water, hygiene, and sanitation. Step 7. Breastfeeding entails less energy when compared to formula production. Industries. It also reduces the need for water, firewood, and fossil fuel in the home. Step 8. Breastfeeding women are supported by their employers are more productive and loyal. Maternity production and other workplace policies can enable women to combine breastfeeding and their other work or employment. Decent jobs should cater to the needs for breastfeeding women, especially those in precarious situations. We have step 9. With industrialization and urbanization, the time and the space challenges become more prominent. Breastfeeding mothers who work outside the home need to manage these challenges and be supported by employers, their own families, and even the community as well. Creches near the workplace, lactation rooms, and breastfeeding breaks can make a big difference. Step 10. Breastfeeding practices differ across the globe. Breastfeeding needs to be protected, promoted, and supported among all, but in particular among poor and vulnerable groups. These will help to reduce inequality. Step 11. In the booster of big cities, breastfeeding mothers and their babies need to feel safe and welcome in all public places. When disaster and humanitarian crises strike, women and children are affected, disappointed, disproportionately. Pregnant women and lactating women need particular support during such times. Step 12. Breastfeeding provides a healthy, valuable, non-polluting, non-resource intensive, sustainable, and natural source of nutrition and sustenance. Step 13. Breastfeeding safeguards infant health and nutrition in times of adversity and weather-related disaster due to global warming. Step 4. Breastfeeding entails less waste compared to formal feeding. Industrial formal production and distribution lead to waste that pollutes the sea and affects marine life. Step 15. Breastfeeding is ecologically compared to formal feeding. Formal protection implies dairy farming that often puts pressure on natural resources and contributes to carbon emissions and climate change. Step 16. Breastfeeding is enshrined in many human rights frameworks and conventions. National legislation and policies to protect and support breastfeeding mothers and babies are needed to ensure that their rights are upheld. Step 17, which is the last but not the least. The global strategy for infant and young child feeding foster multi-sectorial collaboration and can build upon various partnerships for support of development through breastfeeding programs and initiatives. Among all these points, the 17 steps of Sustainable Development Goals and the breastfeeding, a key to Sustainable Development Goals, we all cannot choose them at once, but one need to choose that which is good for himself. So thanks for listening. You were listening to Cameroon Link Radio by Ndeloh Esther, assisted by Njianking Achienyi Fontem. Thanks for listening.